and we have not discussed what we're going to talk about in this episode at all. We have literally no plan. We're flying blind. It's old school. So we are thrilled today to be hosting the amazing Catrine from YarnFloozy. She'll be in another segment where we talk to her a little bit about her dye style, her approach, why she selects the bases she does, and I'm just excited to learn a little bit more about what goes on at YarnFloozy HQ, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. So apart from that, we will have Flocktober updates. I'm seeing a lot of jumper over there. I have many completed things and partially completed things, and one thing in its very appropriate bag that we won't be showing on camera. So with all of that in mind, Emily, do you think we're ready to get this party started?
Yes.
Let's do it. And by do it, I mean we're gonna go away and come back with another segment. Okay, bye. Happy second Saturday of Flocktober, Emily. Oh, it's the third week of the second Saturday. It started on a Sunday, so awkward. Anyway, Emily, what are you making? Tell the people.
I am making a crochet cat jumper.
Ooh, oh, so normal and sane.
It is a test crochet.
Mm-hmm.
Insane at that time.
You got
and
it.
it is based on a Maud Lewis painting, who is a famous Nova Scotian artist from the early 20th century.
Now that is a sentence that you don't get to say very often. Famous Nova Scotian artist. Yikes.
There's a whole movie about it. Anyway.
Proof that nothing that interesting has ever happened in Nova Scotia.
It's a very good movie.
I'm sure it's a very good movie. It's just that, like nothing, there was like a ship exploded in Halifax Harbor. End of list of interesting things that have ever happened in Nova Scotia. Anyway,
I have started the ribbing on the back
excellent.
because I've almost finished the front. Ta-da! Ta-da!
Oh my god. Woo!
So all these markers are to mark out the placement of the blossom.
Right.
So I don't have to like think about every single stitch where it's going.
Right.
And just fill the gaps. And then the middle of these cream flowers has little pink embroidery
super cute.
at the end.
And then the cats are getting some surface crochet / embroidery as well.
Yeah, they are
No,
crocheted and embroidered. Well, there's no surface crochet on them.
Right.
But they're done.
Okay. Super cute.
Yeah. I might also add, the pattern doesn't add stalks to the tulips,
Okay.
but I might add stalks to the tulips
I think
because they're
the
in the
stalks
painting,
will look very cute.
like in a lime green.
Can
That's
I
the plan.
ask a question for those who might be watching from home who are as colorblind as I am? Are you going to outline the
No.
cats? Okay.
They're fluffy.
No, I believe I can't see the cats. They look the exact same to me. I'm not blaming you. I am quite colorblind.
They're little ginger ones.
Super cute.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you're like more than a third of the way done?
Yeah, and the back won't take long because the back is just the green and blue. So
Oh,
there's
so
no,
cute. There's
like-
no surface crochet
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
So that'll go pretty quick.
Great. And then sleeves are plain or in pattern? He says questioningly.
Plain, but
Plain.
they have blue cuffs.
Cute.
So this is the cuff, and then mostly green, and then a little bit of blue at the top.
Amazing.
Yeah, and there's the option of doing that flat or in the round, and I think I'm going to do them flat.
Great. I'm very excited. I am genuinely very excited to see the outcome of this. I love that you switched out to your other neutral today, covered in poodles.
Yes.
Well,
I was looking in my wardrobe and thought the coodles.
The coodles.
The cats
What
had
is
their
that?
had their outing, and
Uh-huh.
I hadn't actually worn my poodle skirt for a very long time.
Well, thank God for that.
I know.
Hopefully soon there will be a poodle lamp as well.
Yes, I'm just waiting for my husband to finish wiring it back up.
I can't wait for the poodle lamp. Is that everything that you currently have on the go? Just, I'm curious. This is not an attack.
Well, I ran out of yarn when I was at home at the weekend,
Oh.
and instead of coming
Did you know that you
work,
own a yarn shop?
I know, but it was my day off, and I was like, I don't really want to go in.
Oh, no, I agree. It's just that's embarrassing. You own a yarn shop.
So anyway, I put this down because I ran out of yarn,
Right.
and I did a bit more on my crochet moth stitch
Oh,
situation,
yes.
which like it gets bigger in millimeter increments, so
that's
not going to be done anytime soon.
Yeah, I believe in you though.
And I may have also cast on a plump collar,
This is going to be normal and same.
but I only got like 2 rows done before I had other things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have worked on a lot of things over the past little bit. Quite a few things, actually. So I'm going to start with something that I finished. This is a new design sample. It's going to be blocked today, and then I'm going to send Emily the pattern, and then we're going to photograph it somehow on Friday, and then we're going to have it ready for launch on Saturday, apparently. This is aggressive. So this is my new cowl. This is called the strip. It's the strip cowl.
It's double-sided.
Yes, yeah, so it's knit as a tube and then you graft the ends together. So this is a new pattern that is not a new idea. Just want to, I think I'm going to be just very transparent about this. So there are other cowls. I guarantee you, if you go on Ravelry, you can find other cowls that are just like this. So what this is, it's a fingering weight yarn on a 3.75 millimeter needle. You cast on provisionally, you knit a tube, and then you graft the ends of your tube together. There are no ends to weave in and nothing else going on with it. And this one was done in YarnFloozy and was designed around some mini skeins. Now someone has just popped in for a little shop and a wander, and I actually know this person as well, and I actually quite like her, which is for most people who know me, surprising. So we are gonna pop up and see her quickly, and then we will be right back with you as soon as I get this watch to work to finish up talking about the 800 things I finished. So, that was exciting. I have finished my strip cowl. It's done. It'll be ready for you to purchase right now on Ravelry. Go there. What are you doing? What are you waiting for? Because right now, and only until the next sample is done, the strip cowl is only $1. $1 New Zealand dollar. I know, which means if you're in America or anywhere else watching this, you'll get it for less than one of your current currency, unless our currency trades better against yours, in which case, oops.
I'm excited to make one because I have the yarn all ready to go.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
Well, the great news is this is also a very good stash buster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer what might seem like a very strange prize to people. So one of the things that I'm going to be offering, if you put a comment down below telling me what colors you would make a strip cowl in. So this took 5 20-gram mini skeins of yarn and 1 full skein of yarn. So there's going to be a lot of different ways to put this together. You do 5 repeats of 6 stripes, okay? So in total, you need to make 30 stripes. The stripes take on average about 4 grams-ish of yarn to make, 4 grams of fingering weight yarn. So what you're looking for here is you need about 2. They take 2 grams. I said this backwards. Take 2 grams on average of yarn. So what you need for each stripe that you're gonna make is roughly 20 grams of yarn. So if you're using a solid color to break them all up, like I did here in our 10 stripe repeat, then what you're gonna need is a full skein and 5 20-gram mini skeins. If you choose to do all of the stripes a different color, then you'll need 10 20-gram mini skeins. But the other good thing is, if you have 20 grams of fingering weight yarn left over and you have that 4 or 5 times, you've got the yarn to make this already. And I'm gonna be offering up some fun different ways to do this. So we will be doing some mini skein kits. We will be doing some kits using 2 full skeins of yarn. We will also be doing some where we break skeins of yarn up and make little one-of-a-kind one-off ones. I think it's gonna be a fun time for us. The strip cowl is gonna be part of our holiday promotion, and I'm gonna be coming in hot with a bunch of different ways to stripe it. And I will be getting other people to knit the other ways to stripe it because I do not have the time. But what is gonna happen with this pattern is as each stripe pattern gets released, the price is gonna go up by $1. So if you buy it now at $1, when there are 10 stripe patterns for this, you will save $9. Look at that. And also, I'm pricing this so reasonably because it's just not a very original idea. And I feel like charging money for something where they already exist without adding extra value, like by giving you multiple stripe options, is just not cool.
Did we already talk about the yarn?
No, so this is YarnFloozy Machinist, And this is in a custom dyed mini skein set in a custom dyed main skein color that Katrine did for me. I had almost no leftovers. So my leftovers from my mini skeins, this is the biggest one, which was for no reason other than the amount color A, and that's all I had left. And it's not quite 2 grams, so there wasn't quite enough here to do a 11 set of stripes. I weighed it and it was about 1 gram, so there just wasn't enough left, which is actually great. Like, it used almost all the yarn. So that means if you happen to get a YarnFloozy mini skein set, because you've either been a very good or a very bad boy or girl, depending on how you word yourself, then you can whip one of these up. So I'm gonna get this block today. Oh, then it's just whip-a-palooza over here. In regards to how I'm gonna approach and talk about the mystery knit along on this podcast, I am going to respect Stephen's wishes regarding publicly displaying Clue 1. The reason my Clue 1 is in this cute little bag is because I was already 3 full triangles, so that is 6 sections, done with the primary clue before I found out about any of this. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, there has been a thing with the clue. You can go onto Ravelry and read all about it. It's not my place to discuss these things. However, I am going to respect Stephen, who I know both as a colleague and as someone who designs great knitting patterns, and he has asked that we not show off the original version of Clue 1. So I will not be showing my Clue 1 off. However, as I complete other portions of the pattern, I will show those, probably with Clue 1 just neatly folded away. So that's my story about that, and I don't think it needs to be any more complicated than that. So there we go. We can just respect someone's wishes, and that can be enough. Now, on to the other Whip-a-Palooza situation, like, oh, yikes. So, I have now finished a full sleeve for Sensen with the little bit on top. I picked this back up, and I am nearly through sleeve 2, so I might keep working on this. I haven't fully decided, because when I was digging out all of my whips, I then picked up this one yesterday for like 20 minutes and finished all of the increases, because it turns out knitting fingering weight stockinette just doesn't take me that long anymore. Thank you, What the Fade Shawl. Genuinely, the best decision I've ever made for getting a whole bunch of stockinette knitting finished. Oh my god. So this is my high street pullover. This is sleeve 1. I am 10 centimeters away from the arm shaping and the armhole shaping, so this should be done quite quickly too. And kind of what I'm gonna do for the rest of Flocktober is I'm gonna knit through a mystery knit along clue and then divide my week between working on finishing one portion of my bibliophile sweater, and once that portion of the bibliophile is done, I'm gonna cycle back to work on my other whips if I have time. So that's my current plan, which is probably aggressive and a little crazy, but
I'm hoping I'm gonna finish mine early so that I can start my tessellated vest.
yes.
Because I want to kind of try and shoehorn that in before our next knit along.
Well, I can't wait to learn about the next knit alongs, and I have some fun things to announce, and I think we're gonna have to grab some props, which is very exciting. So this is my wonderful bibliophile. This is my newest one. So since I've seen you last, I decided that the portion I was gonna finish next was the collar. So I picked up and knit my whole collar and sewed it down. That took about a whole day's worth of knitting, but that is one whole section finished. And then, so that I was ready to keep going immediately, I picked up and started knitting my sleeve. And I'm leaving the body on hold until I'm done both sleeves, and then I'll come back. The sleeves will probably take about a day each, but I'm at a place where I have a lot of sleeves to knit and not a lot of else to knit. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna stay focused and get some stuff finished. I think, if I'm being honest with all of you and with myself, I think my next most important thing to kind of get finished here at this moment in time is this Sensen, because then it's a whole project done. And I'm gonna feel so much better once it's done.
You're probably the closest to finishing that, right? Out of everything.
Yes, definitely. This is well past the point of getting it finished, and as soon as I slam through this sleeve, which is probably a day or two left, then I will just have some pretty clear decks to go forward with, and that's a great feeling.
How are you enjoying that moss/seeds, whatever it's called, stitch situation?
I have to admit, I'm actually quite loving it. I mean, not to the same amount of masochism that you seem to, but I have definitely had the crazy thought of like, what if I knit a fingering weight faded moss stitch
Yes.
vest.
Oh, you lost me at vest. I want a full body.
Oh, someone defeated by the door. A frequent thing that happens here at Get Flocked is our door, which is not locked, we promise, does defeat many people because one must use their thumb. I think it's just a thing, people don't encounter door handles like ours as often as they probably used to. Is that fair?
I honestly don't know.
I'm trying to be really generous and soft about this, but it is kind of
Even when
strange.
they do use their thumb, they still struggle.
Yeah, we're not sure, but that's how it is. So, apart from that, we are going to come at you now with some updates about what we are planning for November's knit-alongs. Why? I think that we can be honest and say October's knit-alongs didn't go quite the way we had all hoped. So, the good news is, if you're looking for something else to do with your mystery knit-along yarn, you most likely already have the perfect yarn for making a U-rock. And if you've cut your yarn for the mystery knit-along already, don't worry because you're gonna make tassels for your U-rock. So you can just set that aside and use that yarn for your tassels. And it should work out to be roughly the correct amount according to the tassels I made and me checking up on how much yarn other people used. So, let's stay focused on the fun in the future, and we will be right back to let you know about our upcoming knit-alongs for next month so you can get off to November in the right frame of mind. Oh God, the thing closed. The thing closed and I didn't notice, and now this is recorded. Ooh. Hi everybody. So as promised, we're back with Katrine, who I know is thrilled to be on camera. She's loving every second of this. So this is Katrine. She is from YarnFloozy. If you are in New Zealand and you knit, you have most likely seen or touched or knit with Katrine's yarn because she is at every event. She makes incredibly beautiful things and we all love them.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm so happy that you took time out of your busy schedule to come down and be with us. You work at our unofficial sister store, Lupine.
I sure do.
Which
Yep.
we love because we love visiting Lupine. It's always so full of creativity and wonder. It's such a great thing that you're there for the whole New Zealand knitting community, and we're
Wow.
so thrilled.
I'm enjoying it, yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. So Emily and I we both grabbed some yarn that's available here today from your beautiful dye pots and hands. And I think we just wanted to talk a little bit about your yarn, your dye style, and I know Emily has some things that she loves there, and so I'll let Emily start off a little bit about what she loves, get some feedback from you on it, and then I'll chime in with my thoughts.
No pressure.
Yeah, no.
I love your colours. I'm a pink and purple girl, and also the greens, and they're just so like rich and warm and
Yeah.
lovely.
Oh, thank
I've
you.
used this in wildflowers to make a
Oh,
shawl.
cool. Yeah.
But I brought these ones over because these are all galaxy
Mm-hmm.
on 3 different bases.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to sort of show that the colour translate across.
Yeah, definitely. Each different bases take up colour in different ways. So, for instance, like this one, that's Savant, that's a 50% merino, 50% silk. Silk takes up dye really slowly, so you get a different kind of colour, whereas this has got a higher content of merino and a single spun. So single spun, you get that really beautiful like kind of cord look when it's dyed, and you can like really layer colours and get lots of kind of base tones in there and stuff. So yeah, so I always love that they're all the same thing, the same dyes, but they take the dye up so differently and it looks so different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
We haven't had the mohair before. It's so fun to
I
see.
love the mohair.
It's so pretty. And is there some in what you're
Yeah, so this is my Rhinebeck sweater. It's the
Tessellated.
yeah,
the pullover version.
by Andrew Murray, and it's just got like a strand of mohair that you pull through, and it's all slip stitches, so it's really easy. But I just love how it creates like a nice little haze.
Yeah, it's
and
gorgeous.
I've used pink grapefruit, which I think maybe is this one, but on mohair. So it's quite a nice way to like use a really bright color and kind of tone it down, make it really wearable, and
it just
yeah,
creates
I
a
love it.
beautiful
And a bit of
halo
lift
color
as well. Yeah,
And it just
definitely.
washes the whole thing, and it
Yeah.
blends the spin cycle together. Like, oh, it's a treat. It's a treat. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, so I am currently knitting with a palette that's a lot like this, which I'm really, really thrilled about. So I'm using your yarn for my mystery shawl, and this is my first mystery knit along in a while, and my first mystery knit along in your yarns, and I'm obsessed. We have a long-term sample in the shop from the wonderful Kathy, who's here. She's off camera, and I tend to take it off the cat probably about once a week and wear it around the shop, and then realize that as much as I always have loved a gothic aesthetic, it's just not who I am deep inside. We all know this.
Whereas that's very much who I am.
The cat is not a real cat. It's a cat coat.
That's right. There's a cat
coat
coat hanger.
concerned.
We're not like, we don't have a cat
Animal
trap in the
rights.
shop. Oh, awkward. But what I love is I love how you can pull these big, wide-ranging color palettes across your yarn, and they blend together so well. And I see that in the depth of color that you were talking about. So this is a new to us base. Can you tell us a little bit? So this is Sage, right?
Sage. It's single spun.
Yeah.
Single 70% merino, 30% silk.
Yeah,
I love the way it takes up dye. It speckles beautifully, and also because it's got some silk in it, so it takes up the dye a little bit more slowly. I can really kind of layer all the colors in there, give it lots of depth and richness.
And like goldenrod is always this beautifully darkly inflected yellow. It's so rich. In this one, you even have those little hints of like copper and brass coming through where that cabled rope effect that you were talking about, like you can really see it. It'd be very hard to show you that on camera. I'm sorry everyone at home, but it is worth it to come and visit so you can see just how the color really plays out across these bases. And I'm super thrilled. I'm also wearing my new cowl that's in your yarn. So this is my first YarnFloozy pattern, first of many. So this is the strip cowl. And I've actually started planning, and I'm gonna tell you about it now today, because they don't know this and you don't know this, but I've started a companion cardigan pattern that goes with this.
Yeah.
So this is the strip cowl, and then we're gonna have the terrace cardigan. So it's gonna be a drop shoulder, oversized, open front, fingering weight cardigan, and I think it's gonna be.
I love a drop shoulder, so
yeah,
I'll be
so
on board.
do I. There's Emily's wearing a drop shoulder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
It's a really good fit, I reckon, and really good fit across a whole lot of body shapes.
And so good for
So
knitters to be able to modify themselves. And like a big thing, especially with hand-dyed yarns, is your yarns put such a stamp on the projects that it's really beautiful to get to see how people play out with it. So I've designed a cardigan pattern that uses one color for the bands and everything, and then that is a narrow stripe, and then 5 other colors. So it's a great way if they have YarnFloozy in their stash already, if you've already stashed some, get some more colors and come along and play with us for next year's new big fun thing, the terrace cardigan, which I can't wait for. So thank you for coming to be with us today. We're so thrilled.
I'm excited.
And you're going to be here in store. Now this is pre-recorded, but she's here in store with us all day today if you're in Christchurch. Please come for a visit, and we cannot wait to see all of you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Bye.